Welcome to another live stream today, and we're going to be covering the rest of the sentence connectors that we didn't finish covering last time. Hello from Slovenia. Slovenia? That sounds like a fictional country. No, I actually just don't know where it is. We're pretty bad at geography, I think. Myself especially. If you didn't see last week's lesson, that's okay. We're going to be covering different sentence connectors, so let's go right into the lesson. We're going to be learning about some more sentence connectors today. We had 4 of the most commonly used sentence connectors. Last time we did 고, 지만, and 는데. So once again, what is a sentence connector? It's a way that you can make more complex sentences in Korean. So in English, we have 2 separate sentences. We can say them together. I will go to the store. I will buy milk. But in Korean, we want to be able to make more complex sentences, right? 저는 슈퍼에 갈 거예요. I will go to the supermarket. And then we can have this sentence. 저는 우유를 살 거예요. I will go to the supermarket and I will buy milk. And this is really boring. For one thing, we don't need to repeat the topic marker here. We don't have to say 저는 twice. So 저는 슈퍼에 갈 거예요. 우유를 살 거예요, right? It's still unnecessary. We can say in English this whole thing as one sentence. I will go to the store and buy milk. Now we have one sentence that has 2 different ideas in it. And these sentences have been connected by the word and. So last time we learned a way to connect sentences with and, which was cool, but this type of sentence connecting isn't always the most common. 고, as we learned last time, is the most basic way to say and. If you say this with Korean, 저는 슈퍼에 가고 우유를 살 거예요. But there is actually a better sentence connector that we can use to mean and for some situations. And this form actually has a few uses. This is 서. The other forms we had, like 고 and 지만, these had really simple conjugation rules. You just remove the end, so you have 하 and you attach 고, or you attach 지만, and that's it. 서 does not work that way. But it doesn't have a special conjugations. To make it, you conjugate the 요 form, but you don't use the 요. For example, 하다 becomes 해요. 배우다 becomes 배워요. 먹다 to eat becomes 먹어요. And 가다 to go becomes just 가요. So we take the 요 form, we remove the 요. So now we just have 가 for 가다, 먹어, 배워, 해, and then we attach 서, 해서, 배워서, 먹어서, 가서. This is only present tense. Do not go and conjugate this to the past tense. Keep this form just like this. This is it. You will not need any other form of this. There's one exception you have to learn. The verb 이다, for to be. This verb, to become the 요 form, it becomes 이에요 or 예요. 이다 has a special conjugation. It becomes, if it's after a consonant, you'll add 이, 라서. 이다 will just become 이라서. So if you wanted to say, if your sentence had the verb 이다, like 이에요 or 입니다 or something like that at the end, or 이야 if you're speaking casually, it will just change to 나서 after a vowel or 이라서 after a consonant. So what is this form used for? I haven't even told you what it's used for. I've just taught you how to make it. It has 2 main usages, and the first use is specifically this shows that 2 verbs are strongly related. So I go to the store, I buy milk, right? So these sentences are related. The verb 가요 is related to the rest of the sentence. I mean, you're not just saying, I am going to the store, my stomach hurts, right? That would be completely unrelated. Now, you can connect unrelated sentences with the 고 connector that we taught last week. This is only when the 2 parts of the sentence, specifically the verbs, are related. So here, I'm going to the store and I'm buying milk, because you're buying milk at the store. The sentences are directly related to each other, or at least you think they're related. But this is not what this form shows. This is just the requirement for using this form. So I still haven't even told you when do you use this form. right? Now, I promise that there's a reason why I'm doing this out of order. It's because I kind of want you to think about how to use it first. And then when you see how it's used and when you see when to use it, it'll be a little bit easier to understand. And in order to use this, the two sentences have to be related. It can't be, I'm going to the store and my stomach hurts. It can't be something random like that. It has to be, I'm going to the store and I'm buying milk. Or I'm going to go to school and study. I'm going to go use my computer and I'm going to listen to a podcast, right? Something that's related. The requirement to use it, it has to be two sentences that are related. It's only used with action verbs. And this is important because there's another way to use the saw that doesn't require an action verb, but I'll do that next. For this usage, it needs to be with an action verb, the verb has to be related. What it means is, so this is the whole deal about this whole form that I'm teaching you. It shows that everything after 서 happens directly after the first part. A, then B, right after. We could connect these two sentences together with 고. 저는 가게에 가고 우유를 사요. But this does not mean that we're buying milk directly after going to the store. It doesn't mean that buying milk has anything to do with going to the store. We might mean, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna buy milk later at my grandparents' house. They sell milk. You know, it doesn't mean anything specific like that. It doesn't add in any extra meaning. So we can use this form. Remember, we just removed the 요 and we add the 서. Now we have the sentence, I go to the store, and then right after going to the store, I'm still at the store, I'm gonna buy milk. And this is a much more natural way to say I'm going to the store to buy milk. You could say directly, 저는 우유를 사러 가게에 가요. This literally means I am going to the store to buy milk. But this is a very flat and direct sentence. And to be honest, this form is not used as commonly as you might think, but this whole form is very commonly used. It literally just means I'm going to the store and then I'm gonna buy milk. But it's used so commonly and naturally, it's kind of in the same way that in English we say, I'm going to the store to buy milk. In Korean, they would more preferably just say, and buying milk. I'm gonna go to the mall and meet my friend. Instead of saying, I'm going to meet my friend at the mall. It's okay too if you want to say it directly, but this covers that meaning. This covers that natural feeling in Korean. 저는 학교에 가고 공부할 거예요. I go to school and I study. Like I said, this is correct. 가고 means go and, but it does not show that the action here happens right after this action. So we can change it. 가서. Now we have I'm going to school and right after I go to school, I'm going to study. So obviously, I'm going to school to study, or I'm going to go study at school. And this is better than doing literal translations of I am going to study at school. I'm trying to explain that this is a natural way to say those types of things without literally translating them from English. Because when you start literally translating things from English, you'll get Korean that makes sense, but it will not sound natural. So right now we're going to clean the house. 집 청소하고 같이 밥 먹으러 갈 거예요. I will clean the house and 같이 밥 먹으러 갈 거예요. Together, 밥 먹으러, to eat, 밥, which is just to eat a meal. So together, to eat a meal, we'll go. So I will clean the house and we will go together to eat a meal. Sounds okay, grammatically correct, but again, it's kind of a literal translation from English. This doesn't really say that after you finish cleaning, you're gonna go eat. It's just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do cleaning and we will eat together. Maybe we're eating together while we're cleaning. Like maybe we're eating together tomorrow. Maybe we're eating together, an hour later after you finish cleaning. We don't know because this doesn't specify. We're gonna change this to our 서 form here. So we have 집 청소해서 같이 밥 먹으러 갈 거예요. I'm gonna clean the house and then right after we're all gonna go eat. So in English, we might naturally translate this as we're all going out to eat tonight after I finish cleaning, right? Something kind of like that. I actually should not have taught you this yet because I just realized, although fortunately no one used it, but I shouldn't have taught you this yet because ida is actually a descriptive verb, not an action verb. So this is how it's conjugated if you're using the ida form, but this is actually a descriptive verb. So in order to use a descriptive verb, we'll need to use a different form. So let's go into that. Fortunately, this second form we're learning has the exact conjugation as the first form. So you don't have to relearn any conjugation. 제가 미국 사람이라서 영어를 잘해요. I mentioned that this form has two usages. One usage is to show that the second verb happens right after the first verb, but that's only when it's used with action verbs. Another usage, which doesn't have to be action verbs, it could be action verbs, but it can be any verbs, is a cause and an effect. Or in English, we would just say because. But it's not just because, and I'll talk about why. Something causes something else to happen. But like I said, don't just write down because if you do, this will be wrong a lot of times. Specifically, if you can think of the sentence as meaning, this caused this to happen. For example, 제가 미국 사람이라서 think of it as being an American caused the effect of me speaking English well. Because if you think of this form like because, you will also make another very common Korean mistake where because cannot be used in every situation in Korean, although it can be in English. And there are many cases when you cannot use this form if you think of it as meaning because. It translates as because, but the meaning is me being an American caused me to speak English well. This shows a cause and effect relationship between two things. 많이 먹어서 배가 아파요. Now notice that this is a descriptive verb, 아프다, to be hurt. So it clearly is not going to show that one action is happening after the other. You're not eating a lot and then immediately after eating a lot, your stomach hurts. Well, you could think of it that way, but what it actually means is the cause of me eating a lot affected my stomach hurts. The cause of my stomach hurting was I ate a lot. Remember, notice this is only in the present tense. Although in English we would say because I ate a lot, but in Korean they say present tense. Even if you said my stomach hurt, past tense, 아팠어요, it's still present tense. 많이 먹어서 배가 아팠어요. Only use this in the present tense, no matter what the sentence ends in. No matter how you're using the sole form, you're showing relationship between two parts of a sentence. You're showing that two parts of the sentence, well, two sentences are related to each other, either by saying that they're related because one happens after the other, or you're saying they're related because one caused the other, right? There's a lot of times when a sentence is not a cause and effect relationship, but you would say because in English. 비가 와서, because it's raining or because it rained, 우산을 가져갔어요. This is okay. You can say this. 비가 와서, it's raining, so, or due to it raining, because the cause of raining caused me to 우산을 가져갔어요. I brought an umbrella, or I took an umbrella there. I brought an umbrella because it's raining. Perfect. But I see this type of sentence all the time. And it seems like it would make perfect sense in English until you think of it as a cause and effect relationship. 비가 와서, because it's raining, 우산을 가져가세요. Take an umbrella. Because it's raining, take an umbrella. No, this does not have a cause and effect relationship. I tell you to take an umbrella, like this is a command. Take an umbrella. That's the effect, is you take an umbrella, and the cause is because it's raining. It doesn't quite match with a command. If you have a command in your sentence, if it ends with a command, you cannot use this form. It will not grammatically make sense or logically make sense. So let's go over how to use commands and say because. That's with our next sentence connector. Nika, this is a form that is used to mean because. So to make this, you just take a verb stem. So we have 하다 minus the 다, and you get 하, and you attach 하니까. But there are some exceptions. If the verb ends in 릴, 히읗, or piup, you have to remove these letters first. 살다 becomes 사니까. Notice the L goes away. Anything with a hiat. However, there's an exception for B. This is only for descriptive verbs also. So let's say 덥다 is, really common. 덥다, to be hot. Like my room's kind of hot because my air conditioner broke last night and I have to wait 2 days to get it fixed. We remove the B, piup, the B, and you add an U, this syllable here, U. So you get goes to top. So we remove the ta first. We remove the p, and then we add u. And then nika. That's the only complicated rule you have to learn. And it can be used with commands. Some people, though, might point out that this form is actually slightly informal. That means this form should not be used when you're speaking formally or very politely with someone. Because in some resources that I've seen, they'll simply teach this as informal grammar. Because it is. Nika is informal grammar. But then people might say, well, what if I want to speak really polite? Like to my boss, can I still use this form? If you want to make it extra polite, you can just remove the ka. So you could just have ni. You might see it in writing though. This isn't the same as the slang form ni. That's conjugated differently. This is only for this connector. You can use it for commands. You can say 비가 오니까, because it's raining, 우산을. You can say 가져가세요, like before, take an umbrella. Or you can even say just like this whole form, 가져갔어요. I brought an umbrella. Because it's raining, I brought an umbrella. This form, unlike this whole form, doesn't need the sentences to be directly related to each other. You can connect any two sentences you want. They don't have to be directly related. It also doesn't have to be two forms that happen directly after each other. But it doesn't have to be a cause and an effect relationship. It's just something is, or something does something because of something else that is, or something else does something. However, there is one exception to this form. You cannot use this form after an emotion. You cannot use this form to say, because I am sad. Like, oh, why did you give this to me? Well, I gave it to you because I'm sorry. Or I'm happy that I can meet you. Because I'm meeting you, I'm so happy. You can't say anything like that with emotion. Are you happy, sad, or any variant on that? Happy, sad, angry, whatever. Or sorry. This is really all you have to focus on. In order to use this with happy, sad, or sorry, we have to go back to use our sole form. Sorry, I left out one conjugation rule. I feel really dumb. If it's a consonant, you have to add an nika if it's after a consonant, and just nika after a vowel. But if you had a verb like 먹다, to eat, 먹다 ends in here it ends in a kiak, so it's 먹으니까. 늦어서 미안해요. That's right. You have to use the 서 if you're saying I'm sorry for. If you want to say like I'm happy because, or I'm sad because, or I'm sorry because, you have to use the 서 form. You cannot use this form. So someone wrote 늦어서 미안해요. Because here it's sorry. I'm sorry because I'm late. It's an emotion. You can't say 늦으니까 미안해요. That would be really weird. So let's go on to the next form, our final form for today. This form is also because. You'll see this form used in writing. The reason is this form is formal. This form also has restrictions. Can't be used to make commands. And you're not going to use this to say emotions because it's simply awkward. It's used in speaking too, but you'll find it the most often in writing. So to make it, it's actually really easy, and it can be used a few different ways. It can end with 에, or it can end with 이다, note to be, and it can be used with verbs or with nouns. You can say noun 때문에, like because of him, because of that. So 때문에 would be in the middle of a sentence. So 때문에 dun 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 dun. So because of this, dun dun dun, what happened or what is it? You can also use it with a noun at the end of a sentence with 때문입니다 or 때문이에요. If you want to use it with a verb, you have to take a verb stem and plus 기 to the end. So 하다 would just become 하기. And then you can do the exact same thing. 때문에 if used in the middle of a sentence, or verb stem plus 기 plus 때문이다 if you're ending a sentence. So if someone were to ask you, hey, Billy, why are you studying Korean? The reason is because I like Korean food. I 한국 음식을 좋아하기 때문이에요. It is because I like Korean food. Or you can change it. You could say I study Korean because I like Korean food. So we can do 때문에. Now we have 제가 한국 음식을 좋아하기 때문에 because I like Korean food. Then you can say 제가 한국 음식을 좋아하기 때문에 because I like Korean food, 한국어를 공부하고 있어요. I am studying Korean. If you were writing an essay, use this form. This form or the 서 form. But don't use the Nika form for writing in essays. It will not be polite enough. One more thing before I finish though. You will not want to say because of a person. If you say because of a person, 친구 때문에, because of my friend, it really means because of you, your fault. If you say because of a person, it means their fault. What you really wanted to say though was because of you, I could learn Korean, right? I had so many great experiences. I could meet my girlfriend because of you. I learned Korean because of you. That's what you want to say, but you cannot use this form to say thanks to someone. If you want to say thanks to someone, you have to use a different form, and it works the exact same way, but a little simpler because you only use it with nouns. So you take a noun and you add 덕분, and you can use 덕분에 in the middle of a sentence or 덕분이다, just like 때문 at the end of a sentence. So you can say 친구 덕분에, thanks to my friend, 표를 살 수 있었어요. I could buy tickets or to the concert or whatever. I'm just trying to give you a simple example so you can focus on this part. I could buy tickets thanks to my friend. Here, I'll just change this to say person, since really that's how it's used. So the person that you want to say thanks to, 덕분에. Hold on a second. Let me drink some water. Just had to get some water. I was feeling really thirsty. Thanks for coming. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.